Marvel Zombies has to actually be one of the most insulting things I've ever watched in my entire life. Now, I'm a huge fan of zombies. I'm not really a fan of the most recent MCU stuff, I gotta be honest. I've liked a couple of things here and there. I really liked Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but other than that, I really haven't been fucking with what most of the MCU has put out. But the zombie genre by far has to be my absolute favorite genre of any genres in film or TV. And even though I really fucking hated the Marvel Zombies What If episode, for one, I think the animation in that show is just absolutely garbage, and that does carry over to Marvel Zombies. The show looks like absolute ass. I even said this in my videos during the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man stuff. I really liked that show and the writing and the characters, but holy shit, dude, Disney, you're like a multi-billion-dollar company, and this is what we're fucking getting? Like, I understand not everything can be Demon Slayer and look that majestic, but I expect a little bit higher quality from Disney and not this cel-shaded garbage. But that's not really what I'm here to talk about. I mean, you've seen this animation style now for years. You either like it or you don't like it. I'm someone that does not like it. Again, with that being said, I'm a huge fan of the zombie genre as well as the idea of zombie superheroes. It's just outright fucking awesome, especially Marvel Zombies. And the trailers, while they didn't overly impress me, I was excited at the prospect of a TVMA Marvel project, them going fully mature with the zombies, hopefully getting some really cool and gruesome kills, and a lot less of those corny fucking MCU jokes. And thankfully, there was a lot of that cool stuff I wanted, especially in the cool kill department. It just sucks that it's bogged down by this just meh-ass looking animation. But I will say the Blade moment and the Spider-Man moments were really fucking cool, but that's about it. And we also saw those in the trailer, so that definitely doesn't help. But okay, if I have pretty much positive things to say so far, why did I say that this was insulting and almost insufferable to watch? Well, I am so glad you asked. Number one, let me bring up that corny dialogue and joke moment, because while there is a lot less in here, there was still so many corny ass moments where me and my friend were just like, why is this in here? Like, that was so unfunny. I can't imagine sitting in a writer's room or like writing this myself and being like, yeah, that shit was hilarious. It's the bunk bed joke, if you're wondering. That shit was so unfunny. But that is quite far from this show's biggest flaw, in my opinion. Before we get to what, like, really grinds my gears about this show, let's quickly talk about the voice acting. As an aspiring voice actor myself, I know how hard voice acting is, and I don't want to be too rude to anybody here, even though they're Hollywood celebrities, they're not going to watch this, and ultimately nobody cares. But I still respect the art form, and I respect them trying. With that being said, I did not find almost any of the voice acting in this show to be the least bit convincing, the least bit good. Now, maybe that's due to the animation or the style or whatever, but God, it was awful. It really, really wasn't good. I think Haley Steinfeld and whoever it was that was voicing Peter Parker, I know it's the same guy from Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but I don't know his name. But I think they did quite good. Also, Amon Villani wasn't bad. Also, I'd even go and say the guy who voiced Blade was pretty fucking cool. Alright, he had a lot of aura in this show, and his voice, in like the action scenes he got, and just his presence in general, he had aura. But other than that, the voice acting wasn't great, and the absolutely atrocious fucking dialogue they had in this show really, really did not help at all with the voice acting. But okay, my real big problem when it comes to Marvel Zombies was the writing, to be honest, and the absolute lack of fucking care for the MCU timeline and how things would happen. So at first, I didn't know that this episode was actually canon to the What If Marvel Zombies episode, so I was confused for like the first 2 or 3 episodes on where the fuck this even took place in the timeline, because so many things that just didn't match up with what I remembered were going on, and that's because this makes absolutely no fucking sense when you look at the Marvel timeline. Because Marvel Zombies, the What If episode, takes place at the beginning of Infinity War when Thanos' people are just arriving to the planet and Tony Stark is all like, oh, Squidward, you're not allowed in our planet, yada yada, right? So how the actual fuck are the main characters, almost all the characters for this miniseries, all characters introduced post-Endgame? Like, how does Kamala Khan have her powers? How the fuck does she know Kate Bishop and Riri Williams? My boy brought up that, oh, but at the end of the Marvels, Iman Vellani met Kate Bishop. And I mean, you're probably thinking the same thing. What do you mean, how did Kamala Khan get her powers? Did you watch Miss Marvel? Let me reiterate. The apocalypse started before Avengers Infinity War, aka before all of those events even happened. And it makes it even more confusing because it's like the writers knew this because Shang-Chi didn't have his powers in the beginning and he got them when he was like introduced into the show. So like, what the fuck? I don't know how many people are gonna think this is a big deal or not, since it's really not a canon thing and it's like on a different world, a different part of the multiverse, but it really fucking bugs me. And the fact, like, I don't know, the fact that they try and tie this thing into the MCU and then they don't even care to actually like take proper steps on like how things happened in the timeline. Or maybe I'm the idiot here and like all this shit actually took place before Avengers Endgame, but it fucking didn't. Also, ultimately, like, nothing happens in this show. They just keep going from place to place and like side characters and shit keep getting killed off until like the final episode, and like half the cast in this show is annoying as fuck, I'm not gonna lie. They literally got like the absolute worst of the new Marvel characters and said, let's make these the main characters of the most cool concept show. Spider-Man, who is at this point the MCU's best character, he's in it for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes and like 2 episodes, and one of them he's just like kind of recapping what happened in the What If episode and then a little bit afterwards, once again reminding you that Kate Bishop, Riri Williams, and Kamala Khan, that's her name, should not have known each other like at all. And this even goes into the ending of the episode, which I kind of liked. I kind of liked the dark as fuck, like she became a zombie and like this is all like hallucinations from Wanda or whatever. I kind of like that. Well, it's not confirmed if she made it. That's kind of my theory, is that she turned into a zombie, the zombies overtook, and this is kind of what the zombies see. Like Wanda shows them like some perfect reality or something like that, right? That is something that I interpreted, though. I really don't know fully what the ending means, but that doesn't matter because it also doesn't make a lot of sense. Because, like, sure, let's say you're trying to convince Kamala Khan that, like, you saved the world and you're, like, back in time or whatever, and the shit worked and the zombies are gone. Again, she didn't know Kate Bishop or Riri Williams. Like, why would they just be casually going to her? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense at all. I don't know, it feels like they killed off all the really cool characters and had them as zombies, and like all the annoying characters besides a couple of them were the ones that we got stuck with for this entire show. And don't get me wrong, like I said, there was cool moments like the Spider-Man and Blade stuff, but other than that, it's honestly an absolute fucking nothing burger of a show. Though the one thing I do want to sing this show's praises for is the fact that they actually killed off T'Challa in a really, really good way, and a really like honorable way towards the actor, and I feel like they handled that much better than they handled it in Wakanda Forever. But yeah, that's really all I've got to say about Marvel Zombies. At the end of the day, it was extremely disappointing. They had such a cool concept, such a cool thing to work with, but they kind of shot themselves in the foot by having it canon to that What If episode, having the most, like, the cool characters, the characters that we all really know and love, all being fucking zombies, only a couple minutes of Spider-Man, and then just the most annoying cast of characters, the most voice acting I've ever heard, and just, God, some of the most ugly animation I've ever seen in my entire life. This show is just so disappointing, man. That's all I gotta say. I hope you guys have a good night, because that's it from me. I'll see y'all the next time I got something to talk about. Peace out.